Jesus Christ, why is this so loud? I hate booting up this game for the first time. I like the game. I think it's enjoyable to certain degrees, but every single time I boot up this game, I have to turn my audio down all the way because I just don't want to rupture my eardrums. But anyway, we're on Call of Duty Modern Warfare, and there was an update that came out recently. It was more of like a hotfix. It wasn't like a proper update, and supposedly the 725 got nerfed even harder. You guys already know I'm happy about that, but this time in today's video, I actually want to go into custom games and try it out for myself, see how badly this gun got nerfed. So I have a game mode right here, sniping practice. This is just what I use whenever I first hop onto the game. I put on the most bots I can. I go in and I just start sniping so that I can get my accuracy on point. However, I haven't really been doing that a lot on this game. I've really only done it like a few times, like a handful of times. I should really start doing it more often because it can actually help me a lot in getting better at this game, because before hopping into matches, I should probably try and, you know, practice a little bit. But anyway, let's just take some random class here. Let's make a 725. I'm going to make a class without attachments and a class with attachments just to test it out. I'm not going to focus on the other stuff because that's not really that important. So I'm going to put on attachments that focus on tightening the spread of the shots and then also increasing damage range, because that's the biggest thing we want to test right here. We want to see how far this gun can shoot and get like a one-shot kill or get consistent two-shot kills. One of the cons to this attachment right here, which increases the damage range and a tighter pellet spread, which is just crazy, but one of the cons is movement speed. So to counteract that, I'm actually going to put on the sawed-off stock because it doesn't affect damage range and it doesn't affect the pellet spread whatsoever, but it gives us movement speed and aim down sight speed. So we have two classes, a regular 725 and a 725 kitted with a bunch of attachments that are going to make it better. So let's hop into a custom game right here and test it out. I have seen a little bit of footage of people using the 725, and it really does look like this was a significant nerf. Like, this wasn't just some small little nerf that they've been throwing at this gun for a few weeks now. This seemed really significant. From the gameplay I was watching, people were getting a lot more hit markers than normal. Okay, so it's still a one-shot kill from that range, which is fine. That's not super far away. Right now, I'm using the gun without attachment. Let's see if I can do anything to this guy from this range. Okay, it's a two-shot kill from that range. That's not too bad. Oh, okay. I got two hit markers on that guy in the back. I really want to see where I can stretch the limits with the one-shot. Okay, you can... that's kind of far. I mean, considering that I'm not using any attachments right now, that's... Okay, I got a hit marker on that guy. That's weird. Maybe it just seems a little bit less consistent. Let me see the hip fire spread, because aim down sights and hip firing is going to be completely different. Okay, hip firing, you can get a two-shot kill from that range. That's not too bad. I'm not too pissed off about that, because two-shot kills with this thing are fine in my opinion, because then you have to go through the reload animation, and that's a big con to this weapon. ADSing though, I want to see how far. Okay, I got a hit marker there. It's not like they completely gutted this weapon. You can still get one-shot kills at a decent range, but it seems a little bit less consistent. Sometimes I'll get hit markers where I feel like I shouldn't have. Now, the thing that kind of worries me is that right now I'm using this gun without attachments whatsoever. I'm going to switch over to the class with attachments, and I kind of still think this thing is going to be a bit busted. Alright, so let's try it out. Let me blow myself up here really quick. Alright, so I'm using the class with attachments, and in terms of the movement speed, because that is some of the cons with the attachments that I have on the weapon, the movement speed seems fine. It's still manageable. But in terms of the one-shot kill, here we go. This is where we test it. Alright, one-shot kill from that range. That's fine. Oh god, oh no. Please don't tell me it's going to get one-shot kills from this. Okay, I got a hit marker, but that could have been because one of the pellets hit the wood. I want to see where I can take this. I want to see what the limit is. I'm going to throw a stun grenade, and I'm going to start shooting people from further away. Oh, no. Okay, I'm not a fan of this. I actually want to change one of the attachments on the weapon. I want to remove the steady grip because it doesn't seem to have too much of an impact on the one-shot range, and I actually want to put on sleight of hand. Here we go. I want to see how much I can abuse this weapon with sleight of hand, because reloading is the biggest con to this weapon. Unfortunately, I have to say that it doesn't seem like this gun is still bad. I mean, look at that. I'm still able to get one-shot kills at pretty decent ranges. And while I got a hit marker there, and previously the weapon would be able to get a one-shot kill from, like, I don't know, this distance right here. Oh, I got two hit markers on that guy. So, as I said, the gun seems a little bit more inconsistent, but you can still get one-shot kills at pretty nice nice ranges. Granted, you have to kit out the weapon fully. I'm gonna leave the game. I'm not gonna focus on that too much more. But yeah, it doesn't seem like the weapon is super bad. I think it needs more nerfs. It's still strong. It's obviously not as strong as it was before, but you can still fuck people up with it at pretty nice ranges. I just want it nerfed into the ground, if I'm gonna be honest. I just want it to be borderline unusable. Like, I'm getting migraines from this weapon. I don't want to have to run into it anymore, man. But anyway, let's hop into some proper games. I want to talk about something in this video, and it's probably why you clicked on it in the first place. Skill-based matchmaking. Drif0r and Exclusive Ace have done some tests, and they have concluded that there is something to do with skill based into the matchmaking. They weren't able to find any concrete, solid evidence of strong skill-based matchmaking. However, they did find a correlation with your last 5 games. If you do really well in your last 5 games, you're going to be put in a more difficult lobby. And if you have 5 really bad games, you're going to be put in very easy lobbies. It does seem that there is no correlation whatsoever between your stats. In terms of your KD, your win-loss, your score per minute, that doesn't affect the lobbies that you get into whatsoever, or at least that's what the evidence suggested. However, there was a very strong correlation between your last 5 games. And speaking from the way I feel, and I know that feelings aren't facts, I sound like fucking Ben Shapiro. This is something that they brought up in those videos, and I am gonna bring this up later. A lot of people feel that when you're on a good streak of having a lot of good games, you seem to be put into lobbies that are a lot more difficult. And when you have a lot of bad games, all of a sudden the game sort of takes a break on you a little bit and gives you a little bit of breathing space, puts you in a lobby that's a lot easier. The community have felt this, and in terms of my own personal feelings, I definitely feel like this is the case as well. And the thing that sort of made me raise an eyebrow when I was watching these videos is when Drif0r and Exclusive Ace were talking about how they couldn't find any solid, concrete evidence, like facts, to prove that skill-based matchmaking was in the game, or any sort of system that puts you up against easier players or harder players. But they were very confident in saying that they felt like the lobbies were different based off of the different accounts that they were playing on and the performance of each game that they were playing. And this is sort of a problem because you can't prove something based off of feelings. That's not how scientific studies work. However, it is undeniable that a large portion of the community feel this way. Even someone like Drif0r, who does not rely on feelings to come up with conclusions, said in his video that it feels that the recent games that you are playing, or the performance that you're playing at, has an impact on the lobbies that you're getting into, even though they couldn't find any numbers to back it up, which is very confusing. And so they basically came to the conclusion that there is some sort of system that we cannot measure. There is something in the back ends of this game that is affecting the type of lobbies we're getting into that we cannot see with numbers, with facts. But at the end of the day, the way the majority of the community feels is that there is something there. It's almost like a fucking religion or something. Like, we don't know if for a fact it's there or not, but we do feel like it's there. I feel like it's there. I even mentioned it in my last video before any of these videos came out from Drif0r. I didn't even know that they were going to be making these studies, but in my last video I said that I don't know for a fact if there's skill-based matchmaking in this game, but I can't lie when I say that it feels like there's skill-based matchmaking in this game. Sometimes this game is fucking awesome and I'm able to shit on people and hit clips. However, sometimes it feels like I'm getting my ass handed to me. And that could be because of this really weird bipolar matchmaking that we have, where if you had a bad 5 games, you would get into really good lobbies. But if you had 5 games where you were shitting on people, you would have really terrible lobbies. Regardless of what it is, I want to end this video off with an opinion piece. Skill-based matchmaking to any degree whatsoever, in my opinion, does not belong in Call of Duty. If you want to rank people based off of skill, everyone agrees that there should be a league play game mode. A game mode that specifically ranks people based off of skill. A game mode that bad players can go into to get a grip of the game and understand how to play it while being paired up with people of the same skill as them. But in public lobbies, any sort of skill-based matchmaking, in my opinion, does not belong into the game. The only exception I make is a protected bracket where people who have literally never picked up a controller can go into. That's the only exception I make. That, or people who are literally disabled. That is the only exception I make for some sort of skill bracket. But once you exit that bracket and you are good enough to not be considered a disabled player or someone who is completely new to a keyboard or a controller, once you are out of that bracket, skill-based matchmaking should not be in the game to any sort of degree. It should be based off of connection only. And harping on the idea of connection, they were not able to find any sort of concrete evidence that suggested that based off of the players you connect with, whether worse or better, there was no evidence to suggest that the type of lobbies you got into affected your ping or your connection. They tested this on NetDuma routers, so they are fact concrete for sure. To wrap up this video, what do I think? I think that there is something there. It might not be strong skill-based matchmaking based off of your KD, your win-loss, your score per minute. However, there is some sort of system in place that bases what lobbies you get into based off of your recent games. And I don't think that's cool. I don't think that should be a factor. Do I think skill-based matchmaking is in the game? Maybe, to a certain degree, but not to the degree that everybody believes it's there. And I personally believe that Infinity Ward or Activision should come out and at least make some sort of statement. I know that it's not black and white, and there's a lot of code that goes into, you know, how to connect to servers and matchmaking and stuff, but I feel like something should be said. I don't think they should reveal their matchmaking algorithm, because if they do that, then people will exploit it. However, I do think they should say something instead of just staying completely silent on the whole matter, because that's very frustrating to a lot of us. I don't really know what this means for the future of the game. I'm just hoping that maybe this stuff is addressed at some point in the future, but until then, we don't really know. There's nothing else I can really say about this topic, so I'm gonna wrap this video up here. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much the end of the video. If you guys enjoyed, make sure you smack the like button. If you want to stay up to date with my content, please be sure to subscribe. I'll have my last video in the corner. If you haven't checked that out already, definitely make sure to check it out. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks very much for watching. Peace out.